History is often written in ink, signed by generals on clean paper. But the real truth? The real truth is written in rust, in blood, and in the silence of things left behind. Welcome to the Lost Drawer. Today, we open case file 402. It starts not with a scream, but with the grinding sound of a heavy iron door opening for the first time in 50 years. The location is undisclosed, deep within the forests of Poland, in a bunker designed to survive the apocalypse. When the urban explorers finally cut through the lock, the air that rushed out smelled of damp earth and 1945. The room was filled with the usual debris of war: empty ammunition crates, rotted uniforms, broken radios. But in the center of the room, sitting perfectly upright on a steel table, was a survivor. A teddy bear, one eye missing, fur matted with the dust of half a century. It looked like trash, a toy forgotten by a fleeing child. The explorers almost left it there. In fact, one of them knocked it over as they turned to leave. And that was the moment everything changed. Because when the bear hit the floor, it didn't make the soft, muffled thud of cotton hitting concrete. It made a heavy, metallic clunk. A sound that shouldn't exist in a stuffed animal. The team leader froze. He reached down to pick it up and gasped. This small, dirty bear weighed nearly 8 pounds. Logic dictated that it should be filled with sawdust or wool, but curiosity is a dangerous thing. They took the bear out of the darkness and into the light of a laboratory. Under the X-ray machine, the silhouette of the bear appeared on the monitor. The doctors expected to see perhaps smuggled gold coins, or maybe a weapon hidden by a desperate soldier. They were wrong. Inside the bear wasn't just metal, it was a complex, symmetrical structure. A box? A bomb? No. As the scalpel sliced through the vintage fabric, they realized this wasn't just a hiding spot. The bear had been surgically altered. It was a vessel. And inside, wrapped in oilcloth that smelled of old tobacco, was a letter. Not a military document, but a suicide note from a man who thought he had outsmarted the devil himself. To understand the weight of the bear, we must travel back to the winter of 1939. Krakow was a city holding its breath. The clouds were gathering and they were gray like steel. Meet Jakob. He wasn't a soldier. He was a master jeweler, a man who spent his life making beautiful things for beautiful people. But beauty offers no protection against tanks. As the walls began to close in around his neighborhood, Jakob realized that his bank accounts were frozen, his property was marked, his entire legacy, generations of wealth, had turned into dust overnight. Except for one thing: the Star of Krakow. A diamond necklace so pure it was rumored to be cursed. Jakob looked at his daughter, Anna. She was 6 years old, innocent, playing on the rug with her favorite new friend, a golden teddy bear she named Beto. Jakob knew he couldn't bribe the guards with money. Paper was worthless, but diamonds speak a universal language. He hatched a desperate plan, a plan so crazy it might just work. Late at night, with the curtains drawn tight against the blackout patrols, Jakob began his work. He didn't use his jeweler's tools to set a stone. He used a needle and thick thread. He took the necklace, worth enough to buy a passage to America for 10 families, and placed it inside a tin box. But he knew that if the bear was squeezed by a guard, the box would be felt. So he did something genius. He filled the rest of the bear with lead weights and dense wool, distributing the weight perfectly. If a soldier picked it up, it wouldn't feel like it had a box inside. It would just feel like a high-quality, heavy, expensive toy. Night after night he sewed. His fingers bled, pricked by the needle, mixing his own blood with the stuffing. Finally, he wrote the note. To whoever finds this bear is the life of my daughter. Do not sell it. Open it only when she is safe in Switzerland. He looked at the bear. It looked normal. It looked innocent. He handed it to Anna. This is Beto, he told her. He is very heavy because he is full of courage. Never let him go. Anna promised. They thought they were ready. They thought they had a ticket out of hell. But fate has a cruel sense of humor. The night of the raid wasn't silent. It was a cacophony of breaking glass and shouting. Jakob grabbed Anna's hand. Anna grabbed Beto by the arm. They ran towards the back alley, aiming for the extraction point. But the checkpoint had moved. A spotlight blinded them. Soldiers emerged from the shadows like wolves. "Halt!" The command froze the air in their lungs. Jakob stepped in front of his daughter, raising his hands. "Please, take everything," he pleaded. "Just let her go." A soldier laughed. He grabbed Jakob by the coat. Another grabbed Anna, and in the struggle, the unimaginable happened. Anna was pulled violently onto a truck. Her grip on the bear slipped. Time seemed to slow. Jakob watched, helpless, as the bear, carrying his life's work, his daughter's future, tumbled through the air. It hit the cobblestones. Thud. Anna screamed for Beto, her arm reaching out from the canvas flap of the truck. But the truck roared away, disappearing into the smoke. Jakob was thrown to the ground, beaten and dragged in the opposite direction. The bear was left alone in the mud. But the story doesn't end there. If it did, the bear would have rotted in the street. A few minutes later, an officer walked by. He saw the bear. He didn't see a toy. He saw a trophy. High quality, expensive. He picked it up, dusted it off, and tucked it under his arm. A gift for my son back in Berlin, he probably thought. But that officer never made it to Berlin. He was stationed in the command bunker, the very same bunker we opened at the start of this video. During the final siege of 1945, as the walls shook with artillery fire, the officer fled. In his panic, he left everything behind: maps, codes, and the bear. The blast doors were sealed, and Beto sat there in the dark, clutching a diamond heart, waiting for a girl who would never come back. For 50 years, the Soviet era came and went. Regimes fell. The world invented the internet, and the bear waited until the flashlight beam hit his face. Back in the lab, the diamond lay on the table. It was worth $2 million, but the museum curator, a woman named Sarah, pushed the diamond aside. She picked up the letter. "Find her," she whispered. The search was a nightmare. Anya from Krakow is like looking for John from New York. Records were burned, names were changed. They found a death certificate for an Anna W. in 1947. The team was devastated. The investigation was about to be closed. The diamond would be sold, the money donated to charity. But Sarah noticed something on the death certificate. The birth date was wrong by 2 days. It wasn't her. She kept digging. She found a ship manifest to America, a list of orphans. There, halfway down the page, scribbled in pencil, Anya, age 12, no family. They tracked Anya to an orphanage in Ohio, then to a marriage license, then to a small pension record. She was still alive. When the team knocked on the door of the small, run-down apartment, they didn't bring cameras. An old woman opened the door. Her eyes were tired, gray like the Krakow sky. Sarah didn't speak. She simply held out the box. Inside, resting on fresh tissue paper, was Beto. The woman froze. Her hands, shaking with arthritis, reached out. She didn't look at the tag. She didn't ask why. She touched the missing eye. "Beto?" she cracked. Her voice sounded like that 6-year-old girl again. She pulled the dirty, dusty bear into her chest and wept. Sarah gently explained about the diamond, about the fortune hidden inside all these years, about her father's plan. The old woman listened, tears streaming down her face. She looked at the diamond, then at the bear. "My father didn't leave me money. He left me his love. He made sure I wasn't alone." The necklace was sold. Anya lives in comfort now, by the sea, a dream she once had as a child. But if you visit her, you won't see expensive statues or gold frames. You will see a clean, sunlit room, and in the place of honor, sitting on a velvet pillow, is a one-eyed bear, filled with lead and filled with memories. Some things are lost to be found. Others are lost to remind us of what matters. What is hidden in your drawer? Subscribe to The Lost Drawer. We are just getting started.